What's up, everybody? My name's Big Cam and welcome back to another movie review. And today we are talking about 2025's TRON Ares, and it is now streaming on Disney Plus. And let's just get into the elephant in the room, shall we? Most people did not review this movie very well. It got terrible reviews when it came out. I'm pretty sure it didn't make money at the box office. And for me, it has a lot to do with Jared Leto. I don't know why Hollywood thinks that this guy is a leading man and keeps putting him in movies. Like, literally anybody else in the world could have played this role and done half as good, if not way better than fucking Jared Leto did. You know, like, he didn't do necessarily bad, but like, I was not emotionally connected to this character or this movie at all in any way, shape, or form at any point in this movie. And I'm a sucker for a love story, so like him and Greta Lee's little thing going on there, like with her character of Eve Kim, I was kind of here for, you know, and I was like, okay, yeah, I like her, she's great. You know, Greta Lee didn't do anything wrong in this movie, but, you know, other than some of the some of the people in the cast, you know, just, or probably the people behind the camera looking at Greta Lee telling her to go do something, and then, you know, they're just, it looked like 90% of this film was shot on a soundstage, and then the VFX artists just had to go and do their thing. Where like every single bit of my points that I gave this movie go directly to, you know, some of the cast. I mean, like, Evan Peters was trying to make a meal out of nothing. Greta Lee was okay, but like, all of the points go to the VFX artists and all the people that made those bikes look as good as they did, the grid look as good as it did. Like, I mean, it says Nine Inch Nails was the composer of the soundtrack, and it's like, it doesn't really matter if it looks good and if it sounds good if you're emotionally not attached to it at all. Like, at a certain point, I just was watching like as if I was a VFX artist, and I was just like, wow, that shot looked pretty good, that shot looked pretty good, that shot looked pretty good, and I wasn't even remotely connecting to what the characters were doing, what this story was about, and like, you know, him coming from being somebody that's on the grid and like wanting to be a real boy, fucking Pinocchio, like, whatever, dude. It was like, it had bones, but it just didn't have any meat, you know what I mean? Like, it needed that meat to hold the bones, you know what I mean? Like, it's just struggle, really. Like, watching it and trying to find things that I liked about it is a real struggle. I mean, it did look great, and like, the trailers for it, some people were like, wow, that looked awesome, you know, but then they go and see it, they're like, yeah, that lacked substance, you know. But as far as the box office goes, it says it has a $180 to $220 million budget, and I don't think that includes like the press tour and stuff like that. And the poor director of this, Joachim Ronning, he has done a couple other things that I've seen, like the Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man Tell No Tales back in 2017. I actually quite liked that. And it seems like he's done a couple of other movies, like ocean-based, like Kon-Tiki, The Young Woman in the Sea in 2024. So, you know, he seems like a youngish director that's doing his thing, so maybe he'll do better things in the future, or maybe he just took a big old paycheck from Disney for this one, which, hey, I don't blame him. But, like, you know, the cast, Jared Leto as Ares, Greta Lee as Eve Kim, Evan Peters is in there, Gillian Anderson is in there, Jodie Turner-Smith. I actually quite like her, but her character of Athena in this movie was kind of ass, you know, like, just didn't get much substance to dive into, you know, like, was just this robot, you know, like, I don't know. Having Jeff Bridges come back is, of course, amazing. Hasan Minhaj was in there for a minute. Arturo Castro, he's been in quite a few things recently, so, you know, young face that's just getting more work. Good for him. Monaghan was in there for like half a second, which I was like, wait, he should have had more to do. Just Gary Vaynerchuk was in there? Interesting. But, you know, it says there's more people in this cast, but, you know, those people I named were mostly the big names of the movie, and it's really like Greta Lee, Jared Leto, Evan Peters, Jodie Turner-Smith, and like Arturo Castro are like the biggest characters in the movie, like that get the most screen time. And, you know, most of the screen time just goes right to Ares and Jared Leto, and it's not good screen time, you know. Like, I don't know, man, something about this just rubbed me all of the wrong ways. Like, no part of me feels good rub. Bad rub all around. Like, I don't know, man. Fucking Rotten Tomatoes, it's sitting at 53%. IMDb, 6.2 out of 10. A Letterboxd, it's 2.6 out of 5. so I'm much closer to that score, you know. And, you know, with a budget of 180 to 220 million dollars, worldwide grossed only 142, which for a Tron movie that looks as good as this, for a Disney movie, it should be profitable at least, you know, at the very least. But instead, this movie came out back in October, and it's reported estimated loss of $130 million for Disney. Biggest recent financial disappointment, though its streaming performance has shown better results. Just because people are watching it doesn't mean people are enjoying it. You know, like, there's plenty of people like me that are cinephiles that are like, have watched almost every movie that came out in 2025, and it was movies, you know, only a select few that I hadn't seen in theaters and weren't out on streaming yet. So, you know, TRON ARES just came out on streaming last week. So yeah, it makes sense that people are watching it. It's the newest thing out. It's something new. You know, a lot of the platforms don't come out with new stuff that often. So for the user, you know, people that are going to the app every day and being like, oh, nothing new, okay, I'll watch some of the old shit. Finally that Friday night comes around, you're like, oh wow, something new to watch. I'll watch it just because it's new. Not even because they wanted to watch it. They're just watching it because it's something new on the platform. It's the same reason why everything that comes out on Netflix seems to go #1 right away. It's because nothing is out on Netflix, and everybody that's on Netflix has watched everything they want to watch, and all they're doing is rewatching stuff until something new comes out, and then they're like, ooh, something new, I'll try that. You know, and then it goes #1. It's like, yeah. But then sometimes something new comes out and it's nowhere close to the top 10, and you're like, ooh, that nobody watched that. You know, like, you could really tell when something is just being watched because it's new and it's getting talked about, and sometimes it's just not getting watched at all, or sometimes it's getting watched just because it's on there and it's new for people to see, you know? And maybe just brutal curiosity, people are like, well, I saw Tron Legacy, my dad liked the original Tron, I don't know, I'll check it out. You know, I don't hate Jared Leto, so let me try it. And then I feel like even normal people are going to watch this movie and be like, yeah, something's up with that, not good. You know, like, even like my mom and sister, where they don't really watch movies or TV shows with like a critical eye. They just kind of are there for the entertainment factor of it and just being like, wow, that was fun, haha. You know, like, yeah, I feel like even they would call me back and be like, something was tough about that movie. You know, like, these are the women watching CW television shows and shit and perfectly fine liking it. But these are also the same women that called me back after seeing Madam Web and being like, God damn, you were so correct about that one. Jesus Christ, Dakota Johnson fanning it the fuck in, you know, like, just phoning it in, just doing nothing, like, oh. And then the press tour for Madam Web was even worse. Dakota Johnson just not even promoting the movie she's starring in and being like, yeah, this was shit movie, and it's not even out yet, and it's like, oh wow, that's gonna make people want to go see it. Like, such an ape. And then she like blames Sony. It's like, Sony is at fault for casting you, you know, like, because Sydney Sweeney, Isabella Merced, and the other girl, you know, that were alongside Dakota Johnson all tried to make a good movie. Dakota Johnson just was like, just fully aloof and just an idiot. She probably got told she was doing a Marvel movie, found out that it wasn't Marvel, it was Sony Marvel, and then was like, oh, well, I guess I don't care. My dad's Don Johnson, so I don't need to care. I was in 50 Shades of Grey. You know, like, and then they keep putting her in stuff too. Like, she's not that good, you know? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just my hate of Dakota Johnson and Jared Leto that makes me hate both those movies. But comment below. I don't think it's just my personal dislike for those actors. I think both movies are pretty ass, you know, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on this movie down in the comment section below. You know, leave your score, or you could send me your score on my other social medias if you'd like, and links for those are down in the description below. But the score I gave it, that it's currently sitting on my Letterboxd, it's currently sitting at 2 out of 5 stars, so about a 4 out of 10. And if I had to give it a true 10 score, it's probably like a 3.9, you know, like, it's just barely a 4 stars. And yeah, all of those points go to the VFX artists, and yeah, so sorry you had to work on this type of film, and you know, just hopefully you made good money, and hopefully you weren't overworked for like overtime and shit that you didn't want to do. You know, I would hate for the artists that worked on this also to not have had a good time while working on it, you know? Like, that would be all around bad, you know? But it's funny that a movie as big as Tron Ares and that big a budget for Disney, in all the award shows that's happening, nowhere to be found, nowhere to be talked about is Tron Ares. So that's how bad this is. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even in the conversation for best visual effects, you know, just either nobody saw it or nobody cared, you know? Like, tough look for Tron Ares and Disney. But I'd love to hear your thoughts and score for this movie down below, or like I said, you can follow my other social medias. Send me your Letterboxd movie reviews and scores on there. Links for my other social medias in the description below. Big Cam, 2G's in the Big, pretty much anywhere you can find me. Just look for this face. And if you made it this far in the video and you would like to support the channel, the best way of doing that is dropping a like on this video, commenting down in the comment section below, subscribing if you haven't already, and hit that bell so you don't miss future movie reviews and you get the notifications when those come out. Once again, my name's Big Cam. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you beautiful people in the next video. Peace!